So it's kind of like, okay, should I do this? I don't know. So quickly, once I started doing it, I realized how special it was.
Swaggy, Brittany, let me see something real quick. Brick, thank you. Get the hell out of here, yo.
What's happened over the last couple of years is everybody has now understood, no, the WNBA is cool.
Ryan Ruocco just sent shockwaves through the WNBA, the league's own voice. The guy who's been calling its biggest games for over a decade is now demanding answers after posting what he claims are graphic photos linked to Brittany Griner. According to him, the evidence raises serious questions about her identity, and he's not backing down. Don't think about it. Ryan has been the face of the WNBA for years. He's the one defending the league when people mocked it, the one calling its rise the beginning of something bigger. But if he's the one now dropping alleged receipts, this isn't just drama anymore. This is a direct challenge to the league itself. And in Ryan's eyes, the only way forward might be forcing Brittany Griner out.
I was naive to the gem of a project it is to work on from a broadcasting standpoint.
Yeah.
And I was naive to how wonderful the league is and how incredible the basketball is. When I was first asked about it, and I've been honest about this, I kind of was like, okay, that's cool, but I'm already doing NBA. Like, why is this such a great gig for me?
Right.
And there were people inside ESPN, I'll give credit to Lori Orlando and Tim McCarthy, who were really like, trust us. You're going to love this. You're going to love working with Rebecca Lobo, and this league is awesome to work on. And they were 100% right. And it did not take me long to appreciate how awesome the basketball was, how incredible it is to work with Rebecca and Holly, which it's just working with them is one of my favorite things in life, never mind in work.
But it's not just Ryan shaking things up. Angel Reese's massive fan base is now jumping in and making the scandal even messier. They're calling out what they see as clear double standards, pointing out that the WNBA had no problem protecting Brittany Griner for years. But now that Caitlin Clark is pulling record numbers and bringing in big-time sponsors, suddenly the league wants to act like it's cleaning things up. Some of Reese's biggest supporters are even threatening boycotts, saying the W is just using the controversy to sell tickets and land better TV deals instead of actually fixing anything. And if you look online, Reese's fans are loud, blasting the league for fake cleanups and warning they won't stand by while the WNBA plays. Both sides for profit.
When Caitlin did it, people were celebrating it. When Caitlin Clark did this, John Cena, it was considered swag. 48 hours later, Angel Reese does the exact same gesture. It's classless.
And Ryan's loyalty isn't random. For years, he's praised these players as the perfect ambassadors, saying their voices, their passion, and the way they carry themselves make them exactly the kind of stars any brand would want to stand behind.
Perception has changed a lot in the 10 years that I've been doing this. I definitely sense, I sense a very different perception about the league compared to when I started. Just people understanding the value of it, understanding the way these women have such powerful voices, such beautiful hearts, and a willingness to continue to show both of them.
Ryan's entire brand has been about protecting the W. He's been there through the empty seats, the failed sponsorships, all of it. And now he's finally watching the league blow up, thanks to stars like Caitlin Clark pulling numbers nobody thought possible. That's why his loyalty runs so deep. For years, Ryan praised these women as the perfect ambassadors, saying their voices, their passion, and the way they carry themselves make them ideal for the sport and the brand's backing. But the Brittany Griner situation, that's the one cloud hanging over everything. The gender rumors have been floating around for years, but now that the WNBA is finally in the spotlight, those whispers have turned into headlines. Ryan's watched the league climb out of the punchline zone. Back then, the W was treated like a joke. But today, for the first time in years, it's being seen as cool, credible, and marketably and. Marketably and knows one scandal could undo all of that.
So instead of, before, people used to love to use the WNBA as a punchline, as a joke. I think now people understand the value, first and foremost, of the basketball, and then also of these women and how incredible they are, just as these leaders in our society.
For Ryan, a guy who staked his whole reputation on making the WNBA mainstream, this isn't something he's willing to just sit back and watch. And that's why insiders say the so-called leaks weren't an accident. This was Ryan forcing the league's hand of in if it means risking his own career in the process. The Brittany Griner situation had been simmering for years, but one viral IG clip is what really blew the lid off. The video spread fast, and fans immediately claimed it was the ultimate receipt. From there, people started digging up every old rumor and theory they could find. And then came the detail that made it even messier. Brittany casually calling herself Pops in reference to having a little one in her life. For some fans, that felt like confirmation of everything they'd been speculating for years. And once that clip hit the timeline, the conversation exploded.
About to be a mom. How is that feeling? Pops. Oh, let me get it together. About to be a pops.
And just when things seemed like they couldn't get any worse, another clip went viral. This time showing Brittany saying something that many fans claimed sounded like a racial slur aimed at Caitlin Clark. And remember, Clark isn't just another player, she's the one single-handedly boosting ticket sales, breaking ratings records, and pulling the WNBA into the mainstream spotlight. At that point, the league wasn't dealing with whispers anymore. Every headline, every post, every talk show was circling back to Brittany. And then came the breaking point, Drayon dropping alleged photos and files that, according to him, prove his case. Overnight, it became impossible for the WNBA to stay silent. By sunrise, insiders say the front office had already called an emergency meeting, not just about Brittany, but about protecting the momentum they'd finally built sold-out arenas. Historic TV deals, sponsors lining up, money flowing in, one wrong move, and it could all come crashing down. As Ryan himself pointed out, Chicago went from half-empty arenas to packed playoff games with finals-level energy. And now, the league is terrified of losing it all.
A place that when I first started doing games, there was no one at those Chicago games. Nobody. And I'm in those 2021 playoffs, and it feels like the roof's about to blow off from how loud it is and the vibe in there, and Chance the Rapper courtside going nuts, and Copper hitting jumpers, and you're like, wow, something is happening here.
And it's not just the WNBA scrambling. NBA executives, the very people helping fund and market the league, are reportedly warning Commissioner Cathy Engelbert that if she doesn't lock this down fast, they'll pull their support completely. They're not worried about feelings or PR spin. What they care about is momentum, specifically keeping Caitlin Clark's rise alive. To them, this scandal isn't just noise, it's a direct threat to everything they're investing in. And Ryan has been clear about it too. He's called Caitlin Clark a supernovae, the one star, pulling the W into a whole new stratosphere. For the NBA, for sponsors, for networks, that momentum is priceless. And that's why this situation with Brittany is being treated like an all-out emergency.
And getting to witness her completely unique, dynamic stardom at the college level and seeing the way it carried over the pros, she's a supernova like we just have never seen before.
And the craziest part, this still isn't even the peak of it. Brittany's camp isn't staying quiet. Within hours of Ryan's post, her lawyers were already calling it a smear campaign and threatening lawsuits against him and anyone reposting the alleged pictures. But even with legal threats flying, the damage was already done now. Adam Silver's name is being pulled into the conversation, and that takes things to an entirely different level. For Ryan, though, this league isn't just a paycheck. He's said countless times that everyone who covers, plays, or coaches in the W feels like family, all fighting side by side for the respect and coverage they've worked so hard to earn.
There is a connectivity and togetherness.
Adam isn't even the WNBA commissioner, but y'all know he doesn't play when it comes to league scandals. Back in 2014, he set the tone for his entire legacy, banning Clippers owner Donald Sterling for life over private racist remarks, hitting him with a $2.5 million fine, and forcing the team to be sold. That's the kind of move Adam is known for. When a scandal threatens the reputation of the league, he doesn't hesitate to make an example out of someone.
Accordingly, effective immediately, I am banning Mr. Sterling for life from any association with the Clippers organization or the NBA.
So if Brittany really did make that alleged slur about Caitlin Clark even off camera, there's no way she walks away clean once Adam Silver gets involved. And don't expect Cathy Engelbert to handle this on her own. Players and fans have criticized her for dragging her feet on WNBA drama for years. People still haven't forgotten how she handled the Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark fan backlash. Instead of firmly condemning the racist comments, she brushed it off by comparing it to the old-school Larry Bird and Magic Johnson rivalry like it was just some fun storyline. To this day, that's the moment fans and players point to as proof that Kathy downplays serious issues instead of addressing them head.
It is a little that Bird Magic moment, if you recall, from 1979 when those two rookies came in from a big college rivalry, one white, one black. And so we have that moment with these two. But the one thing I know about sports, you need rivalry. That's what makes people watch. They want to watch games of consequence between rivals. They don't want everybody being nice to one.
And now, insiders claim that Caitlin Clark's own camp is quietly pressuring the league to tighten its rules, especially when it comes to gender verification. They're allegedly warning that every Brittany Griner headline risks overshadowing Caitlin's rookie season. And by extension, it could put millions of dollars in sponsorship deals tied to her name at risk. Fans online are already speculating about it, adding even more fuel to the fire.
How he'd stop the fighting, he thought they meant the WNBA. What is going on? Protect Caitlin Clark at all costs, please. Enough of this. Please.
To make matters worse, Ryan is forcing the issue into the open end. Brittany's situation is now directly tied to sponsors, ratings, and player trust. The pressure is on Adam Silver to step in, because if he doesn't, this could spiral way beyond the WNBA, and trust MYT is about to get even messier. By the end of the week. Insiders say the league's money people were already panicking. Sponsors who just signed on because of Caitlin Clark's buzz were suddenly threatening to pull out if the W didn't get control of the Brittany controversy fast. Ticket sales might be climbing, but brands don't want their names attached to headlines about gender rumors and racial drama. Meanwhile, Ryan's the first one to take a hit. ESPN quietly pulled him from a couple of NBA and WNBA broadcasts while the investigation plays out. Even though fans online are calling him the only one willing to say what everyone else is scared to. But as bad as that looks, the story doesn't stop there. Because now Brittany isn't the only player under the microscope. Fans and insiders online are dragging other names into the mess, claiming the league has been quietly protecting certain players for years. Natasha Howard, Isabel Harrison, and even Mercedes Russell have all been trending, with people resurfacing old photos and posts, pointing to their voices, builds, or physical changes as supposed evidence. None of it is confirmed, but the speculation alone is fueling chaos. And the more fans dig, the harder it gets for the league to keep control.
Last week, Natasha Cloud and Izzy Harrison of the New York Liberty were issued a fine warning from the league for wearing hats. It's kind of a crazy rule that isn't publicly accessible, and we opened up a can of worms I don't think we knew existed.
Yeah, I mean, we're in this period in the W where there's a lot of serious things happening, right? Like, we're having conversations about refereeing, we're having conversations about pay equity and revenue share and collective bargaining, and yet the WNBA is taking time out of its day to fine or at least warn people in advance for wearing hats, which is so weird.
Just last week, Natasha Cloud and Izzy Harrison of the New York Liberty were hit with a fine warning for wearing hats. Yeah, hats. It's one of those bizarre rules buried deep in the league's handbook. Not even something the public can access. And honestly, it opened up a can of worms nobody was expecting. Think about it, we're in a moment where the WNBA is dealing with real issues. Controversial refereeing, pay equity debates, revenue sharing battles, collective bargaining talks, and yet the league is spending time warning players over hats, of all things. Fans online couldn't believe it, calling it just another example of the W focusing on the wrong battles while the bigger problems keep piling up.
It's at a time where it's just so awesome, so exciting to be a part of, and it just feels like, you know, it just feels like it's just beginning. Not to make everything about ratings, but
And behind the scenes, the whispers are getting louder. Kathy Engelbert herself might be on the chopping block. Insiders claim NBA leadership is already discussing bringing in someone new, someone they can control if she can't pull the W out of this freefall. Nothing's confirmed, but the fact these names are even trending makes one thing clear. The WNBA can't just sweep this under the rug anymore, with Ryan pushing his alleged receipts on Brittany and more players getting dragged into the chaos. This isn't just one scandal anymore. It's the league's entire credibility on the line. And what happens next? That's where things get even darker. Just when it seemed like the league couldn't take any more heat, another bombshell hit the timeline, a leaked memo, allegedly, from the WNBA's own legal team. It claimed the league might have to roll out mandatory gender testing for every player before next season, just to calm sponsors and protect competitive integrity. That memo isn't confirmed, but it sent fans into overdrive. Some say it's the only way to save the league's image and prevent more Ryan Ruocco moments from happening. Others argue it would destroy everything women's basketball has been fighting for, turning the W into a circus. And with all this chaos, insiders are even whispering that the season itself could be delayed or cut short if things explode any further. Because if more players get exposed or refuse testing, we're not just talking about Brittany anymore. We're talking about a full-blown crisis that could wipe out years of growth overnight. And this, insiders say, is why Ryan is pushing so hard, even if it costs him his career. In his words, the WNBA's momentum is only just beginning and he's not about to sit back and watch it all get derailed now. So Brittany's camp is still threatening lawsuits. Kathy Engelbert is taking heat for letting it get this far, and Adam Silver. Insiders say he's preparing to step in personally because the next move could decide whether the WNBA survives. This storm war burns out for good. And here's the kicker. Insiders also claim Ryan Ruocco isn't done yet. He's allegedly holding on to even more files, ones tied to at least 2 current WNBA All-Stars. If those leaks ever see the light of day, this won't just be about Brittany anymore. It could mean the WNBA losing an entire season, or even its future altogether.